welcome back to my channel. Today, day 23 of Sewtember, I want to share with you how I like gathering on my serger with a chain stitch. Do you have a chain stitch on your serger? If you do, you might be a bit intrigued with this technique. It really creates very pronounced and professional gathers using the chain stitch. Let's go gather with the chain stitch. The next technique that we're going to do is gathering with a chain stitch. We've been doing cover hemming, which means we have 2 needles in my machine. We're going to remove our C3 needle. That's the needle all the way over to the right hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and clip my thread. That's going to be my orange thread. And then we'll go ahead and just remove that orange thread from the needle. You'll notice that I had already removed my pin tuck foot, so I'm just going to grab that thread and just kind of bring it through the eye of the needle. I never want to run my serger without a presser foot on it, right? And I don't have a presser foot on it right now. Now that I've removed the thread, I'm just going to go ahead and loosen the screw for that chain needle number 3 and remove it. One adjustment that I want to make is to tighten the tension on my chain looper. So a chain stitch requires tighter tension, so I'm going to move my dial to 2.5. If you have an earlier baby lock model that has the little dial on the side, you'll want to take your wheel, your little dial, and turn it away from you until you've lined up your embossed mark on the side of your machine beside that first little dashing mark, and that's going to place you in the area that's going to be set for chain stitching. All right, so now that we have that done, we're going to make a couple of other changes. Now that we've adjusted the chain looper tension, we're going to come down to the area where we have our differential feed. So here we have the red end. We want it to gather, so we're going to take that lever and bring it all the way up to the top, up there by number 2. And then after that, we're going to scoot over to the other side of the machine, and we're going to take the stitch length up to a stitch length of standard 4. Now that we've made those adjustments, we're going to grab one of the presser feet that I absolutely love to use when I do a chain stitch. This is our chain cover hem foot. And it's a nice little slender presser foot, so if ever I use my serger for a straight stitch machine, this is my go-to foot also. But the bottom of this foot has a little flapper, so I love to use this foot because of the slenderness of it and having that little flapper on the back, which is going to help create even more gathers. So when I'm gathering with a chain stitch, this is definitely my foot of choice. I've got the presser foot attached. I have a long strip of fabric. All I'm going to do is just go ahead and slip that fabric up underneath the presser foot a little bit. I can kind of take my little 2 fingers here, kind of use it as a guide, and I want to be very soft, very gentle, because we're gathering. We don't want to muscle the fabric and keep it away from the machine. We want the machine to own the fabric, so we're just going to be the gentle guider. How gorgeous is that gather? Isn't that beautiful? So maybe you want to do a little ruffle on the bottom of some little pantaloons. There's so many just different uses that you could use this just to create some texture with ruffles on top of a garment. And another thing that you could also do would be to finish the edges of these pieces, either side, with a rolled hem or a narrow hem, but I always want to do that before I gather. So that's part of working smart and not hard. So if you want to do something to the effect where you have pretty little gathers like this and you want a finished edge on either side, go ahead and serge your finished edge on first, and then use your chain stitch to gather it right down the middle. Now, as we talked about when we gathered with our overlock stitch, remember how I said the overlock stitch was adjustable? Well, the chain stitch is not adjustable. So if I pull in these threads, I'm not going to make it gather anymore. But because I always get asked these questions we just figure out a way, right? So if you really want more gathers in this, we could pop this right back up underneath the presser foot. You remember the notches on the presser feet that we talk about? So that second notch is going to represent the needle that we're using. You want to try to guide that second notch around along the stitch that you just created. Now I would definitely slow my machine speed down because we're kind of going for a little accuracy here. And just take your time. And if your thread is matching your fabric, if you're a little bit off, it may not be noticeable. So there we go. If you really want more gathers than what it does along the first run, just run it through again. Thanks for watching. Make sure you show me your sew and hashtag Sewtember on Instagram. Join my Facebook group. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for day 24.